From talk of God to talk of rock music, it's a diverse night here on 10%. We are speaking with Ben and Ricky, I apologize, of the band Ejector. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I almost said Lucy and Ricky.
We're a duo. So
we're a duo.
It's understandable. It's very Patsy and Dina.
Yeah, a lot of humor between us all the time,
Absolutely
too.
fabulous. I can tell this is very serious. Now, you said that when you first started gigging here in the Bay Area, two communities embraced you, lesbians and bears.
Yes,
Talk
indeed.
to me about that, Ricky.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I think that the Bears kind of went for my look, and that was maybe what started it. But they, they're great guys. They love to dance. They love dance music. They're really into the electronic scene. I mean, it really is about the music. I think they were just on board. We were lucky to have them from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's more of a Ewok.
An Ewok than a bear.
Yeah.
I saw or a raccoon or something like that.
Very animal.
Yeah.
Short furry.
But now, I think there is a stereotype that rock music or any sort of contemporary music is homophobic. Do you think that's true? Because I'm assuming you guys aren't straight, so I'm just like,
Definitely
not. Just to make sure. Yeah.
No, I think it's rock by its nature is a heavy sound, a heavy music, and there's been artists over the years, Judas Priest, singer from Judas Priest, Freddie Mercury. There's been plenty of people that are queer rockers, Joan Jett. But they stay focused on the sound. And when it comes to music, there was something said in that the Joan Jett movie about it's about the music first. So you stay focused on that, and then who you are as a person comes into the writing. It's a nuance, I feel, that comes in after. Like for us, we have a theatrical nature. We cut up all the time. We're jokesters. So for us, our live show, while the sound might be heavy, it might be synthesized, it might be a dance feel or format, but we'll bring in a theatricality to it. And that, I think that's, to answer your first question, that's why I think the Bears and Lesbians gravitated towards us originally.
Because they saw the humor in it?
Yeah.
Humor is so important. It really is important.
So what comes first, humor or music?
Well, the music first.
Yeah.
I mean, we really concentrate on the songs, put our heart and soul into them, but we try not to take ourselves too serious when we perform. Think that translates really well to the audience. If you are relaxed and you're having a good time and you're not uptight, you're not, trying to put on this personality, but just be yourself and have a good time. They'll get into it.
We have to come through first and foremost. If we don't, that's, the audience can feel that.
Right.
It's not a genuine performance. And we do have our moments of drama, feeling an emotion in a song. But it always seems to come back up, and we have dancers with us sometimes, and they remind us, oh, it's about having fun.
Right.
We light again.
Right. Well, now, you say there, the personality and the humor comes first. What is an Ejector show like? I haven't yet seen one, but I can tell I'm going to, so.
It's a little ride. It's just a little bit of theatrics and always our passion. You're always going to hear a good beat, and we're just going to try to present that to the audience.
For us, a big wall of vibration, a lot of sound, and something provocative.
Like provocative, how?
We're usually wearing something, or the costume's kind of degenerate.
Or not wearing something?
Yes, exactly.
Layers do come off sometimes at shows.
So
It's hot under the lights.
It's hot under the lights, and are there wardrobe malfunctions?
Sometimes.
There have been.
Sometimes, yes.
There have been a few, but
Purposeful?
No. My suspenders during our album release party came off.
They just
And I was
popped.
holding my shorts and trying to create a wide stance so they wouldn't fall. So it does happen, and it kind of adds to the. He was looking over me, wondering what I was doing. That was not part of the rehearsal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it does happen, malfunctions, and usually, most of the time, the less clothing is purposeful, but sometimes it's.
I got it. Well, I mean, sex sells.
Yeah.
It
Well,
does.
we enjoy it, and so.
but we're not afraid to be ourselves. Be sexual in our show. It's so much a part of the music when we're writing, and sometimes when we're writing, I'll think, what do I want to wear while I'm playing this song? Right. And that'll just come in while I'm writing the track.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the dancers we work with, half the time they're writhing around on the floor, and it's you have to stop yourself from getting down there with them.
Yeah.
You have to remind yourself there's an audience right there, and you have to.
Right, and that's a
perform
different
to
sort
it.
of show and a different pay scale.
Correct.
To go back to my original point about, I've always felt, in some level, that rock music, for a long time, the idea of being an openly gay rocker or a musician was, no, you're appealing to a certain type of audience. Do you think that has completely changed, or do you think there is still homophobia in the music industry? And do you ever come up against it?
I think it's definitely there. I'm not so sure how much it comes from the artist angle as it does
management.
The management or a label that's trying to groom an artist and put them in a specific place.
Mm-hmm.
There's
even 10 years ago, they would be afraid to promote a gay act because they think, oh, we're going to run into all kinds of problems, marketing you
But we're a viable community. We have a lot of money in our community. We like to, entertainment. We like to go out, and it's an untapped demographic, I feel. And so the more that the industry has kind of collapsed a little bit, and it's coming back to the artist and a lot of doing your own stuff at home, they're starting to see through these social networks that there is a relevance of these artists, and people are hitting them daily. So how do you deal with that? Telling an artist that they can't be themselves, but yet
people are demanding them to be yourself.
Correct.
How important is social media, MySpace, Facebook, all of that, to your success?
It's really important, actually, because it's how we're going to connect with the people, first. Now, I mean, because it's changed so much online, we were able to produce our album. We produced it in my home, and thanks to Facebook and MySpace, we were able to promote ourselves and really get feedback even when we started. We started to do some shows and put some stuff up online and see how that, what the reaction was.
Yeah, and we had a girl in Pennsylvania hit us up, and she said, "I love your stuff," and she gave us a lot of opinion. So from this girl in Pennsylvania to a guy doing remixes for us in Australia, it's allowed a different access that you couldn't have before.
Right. So if I want to see Ejector, where do I go, and how do I find out about it?
YouTube page, MySpace, Reverb Nation.
We're on Facebook. Ejector on Facebook.
Nowadays, I think it'd be surprising to find a band or an artist that doesn't have multiple pages. There's a lot of different social networking sites that have different, their strengths are different. So you kind of cover a lot of them, and we've done that, definitely.
So who do you admire musically?
Ooh.
Well, for me,
we have time. It's a long list.
we love music so much. We're kind of big fans of bands from the '80s, and that sound actually.
There's kind of, you've got that '80s zhuzh sort of thing going on,
Definitely. We write from what we know. And
bands like Depeche Mode and Erasure and Dead or Alive, and more aggressive bands like electronic bands like Front 242 and Nights Are Ebb and Split Second. They're sort of our top idols, but we grab from all kinds of different music, really. I mean, I love film scores, and we're big John Williams fans and Jerry Goldsmith, so we just grab from all different sources, really, for inspiration.
So an eclectic bit of inspiration for your music. What is something that we won't ever hear in an Ejector song?
Well, there's been several times I'll come in with a vocal part, and it's a little too theater. A little My Fair Lady, and Ricky's kind of rolled his eyes, and yeah.
It's like, I don't know, maybe not that one. Actually, that's funny because there's a song on our album called Like You, and it actually went through that process. When he came in, I produced all the music first. We sat down, listened to it. We liked the music, but then he came in with his vocal idea, and I was a little afraid at first. I thought, wow, I'm not sure about that vocal line, but I still let him be himself, and we just kind of kept reworking it, and now it's going to be...
Ended up more Nine Inch Nails than Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, got it.
You just have to sometimes work with the track, give it a little more love, maybe put it away, then, take it back out and work on it again.
Yeah. Now, I've heard you say things as far as, you love science fiction. We've heard John Williams, we've heard Depeche Mode, a lot of influences going on there. I haven't heard the word politics. Is there any political content to what you do?
Very much so. It's subversive. We grew up in the '80s where it was about emoting and your emotions, and a lot of the songs were written in kind of a subversive format. It's in there, and we don't like to really spell it out, but it's definitely in there. A lot of people think a lot of our songs are about one thing, and they intentionally have multiple meanings. So there's a track we're actually working on for our next album that's very political.
Yeah.
And it's called Hypocrisy. So the title kind of says it all. And
there's lots of types of hypocrisy: sexual, political, religious. Which one are you going after?
Correct. All the above. Yeah. It's not.
So, which hypocrite inspired you to do this song? Must have been someone or some one thing that tipped you.
Well, years ago in church. It was
I think that was the
written
start,
originally.
was the church.
Yeah, that was the start.
Angle.
And then just working with the verses, pulling different parts out and trying to figure out what that meaning is to a lot of different people. The verses, that's how we usually write. We kind of look at the song structure and then think, what would this song mean to somebody else? And then we'll rework a verse. And sometimes just us talking about the song, we flesh that out very quickly. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but.
Was music a part of your coming out process?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. Going to
Definitely.
clubs, going to gay clubs and hearing Depeche Mode. And
Trenier.
and you know, the music was like Depeche, for me, Depeche Mode, their music was a soundtrack to my life. So
My coming out soundtrack was Erasure, the Wonderland album, their very
Yes.
first album. You know, a lot
And
of
how
friends.
important was that to you to go, wow, an openly gay band? That's hot.
Very. There was times when, like he was mentioning, Depeche Mode, when the cassettes first came over, and people were listening to it, you kind of felt almost rebellious because you were listening to this band that blatantly was talking about blasphemy or gay
but
sexual
was
undertones.
edgy and different.
And unique.
Yes.
Just like you, edgy, different, and unique. We've been speaking to Rick and
Ben.
Ben, I apologize, my brain went out for a second, of Ejector. I'm David Perry, and remember to see us next week on 10%. See you then.